Intro, action. Hello YouTube world, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are a returning subscriber. I really appreciate you. Today's video, I am, doing a little cute fall makeup look, and then also reminiscing on this past week, month, year. 1 year ago, November 15th, I started my YouTube channel with really no idea where it was gonna head, and I am really proud of how far I've come, and I'm really proud of the things that I talk about, the products I share, the knowledge I share. I just hope that in some way, shape, or form you can benefit from this as well. It's not just for me, it is also for you guys. So without further delay, let's get into this gorgeous makeup look. Start off with a little spritz of hand sanitizer. This is Physicians Formula. Rosé takes the germs away. Super cute. I got that at Winco, I believe, a few months ago, and it's lasted me a pretty long time. So, I'm thinking back on my video that I did with Dylan and how I said that organization is not the meaning of life. And I've just kind of been pondering that in my mind, and I'm like, well, maybe there is something to being organized, As artists, I feel like we kind of go through the struggle of creating art, and in that process, you kind of make a mess, and shit gets everywhere, and you're kind of like in your zone, and you're throwing things everywhere and everything. And I was gonna film this video today, and I decided before I do anything, I'm gonna organize my desk. And I did, and it's so much cleaner now, and it's like, wow, I actually know where everything is, I can see everything. And then I went on to clean my brushes, and it's just like a whole new me. It's so crazy. But that has kind of been weighing on my mind a little bit, because I do believe in being organized, but it's not something that is always at the forefront of my mind, and maybe it should be. Maybe it should be more of a New Year's resolution for me. So by the time this video comes out, I am hoping to get it out on the same day that I posted my first YouTube video last year, November 15th. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if I filmed it and posted it in the same day, but this time last year, I had just gotten laid off from my job. I was feeling pretty low. I kind of just didn't know where the year, the month, my life was gonna take me. And I made a promise to myself that I would try to upload as much as I can. I started doing it every week. Then the pandemic hit, and we all just kind of slowed down. And now I'm kind of feeling like I want to get back into doing that one video a week post. It's not easy. It's definitely something that takes a lot of work, but I'm confident in myself, and if I do get this out on November 15th, give future Kelsey a pat on the back. But in this video, I kind of wanted to go over just my growth as a YouTuber, and granted, I don't have very many subscribers at the moment, but starting out, I had 0, and you just kind of, you build and you grow and you learn and you figure out different things along the way and different tricks, and I've learned a lot about myself too, which is so crazy because I wanted to start this like a video diary, like I said, and it's kind of become more of like, yes, it's still for me. Like I said in my last video, I want to do these things for myself and for my own benefit, but I've also learned that other people can benefit from these things as well, not just me, even though I'm just like purging everything, we definitely went through some ups and downs this year, but there's a lot of things that I know other girls, other men, women can benefit from just in listening or in watching, or different techniques, different things about me in my life that maybe struggles I'm going through that can also help you. So I just wanted to say, like, cheers guys. 1 year on YouTube. Can you believe it? Like, what? It's already been a year? How? So since I washed my brushes and my sponges, that's why this sponge is so gigantic, I kind of am probably going to stick to more cream stuff today because my brushes are still pretty wet. But I also think that the dampness of the brushes can also help me maybe in finding a new technique that I might like, because I know a lot of people will spray their brushes before they use them. They'll spray them with setting spray, or they'll just dampen them to get a little bit more color payout. And I think that might be something I will experiment with today. So I'm just kind of reflecting on this whole year and what it means to kind of prosper, you know, just keep going and don't give up. I think that is the silver lining of this year, is we can all kind of remind ourselves that we're never done. Our work is never finished. But also, yeah, nobody's perfect. Nobody's like above anybody else. Money does not make you tougher. Having things, material items, doesn't make you any tougher. And I think we just need to remember that we're all on our own journeys and also celebrate each other. Ladies, like, this is a main thing for me. We kind of grew up in a world where women were always pitted against each other and we're always competing against each other, and there has to be one winner. And I think that's total bullshit. Like, we're all in this together. And we can get through it by leaning on each other. And granted, we don't want to lean too hard, because then if one of us falls, everybody falls. But if you're carrying a heavy burden, just talk to each other. Let us know that you're hurting. You don't have to do it in silence. You don't have to do it in pain. And we can all help. I have this freaking deep zit right here, and she is just freaking popping out. There's no head, but she's painful and she's big and she is ready to roar, and I'm not too thrilled about it, but I've been using like the little pimple patches. I haven't put any on this one, but I've done them on other pimples that I get, and they work pretty well. I just feel like it doesn't get everything out, and I'm very much like I don't watch Dr. Pimple Popper, but I totally get it. I think I've seen like 1.5 episodes or maybe just a half episode, and it was like cysts, and she was like, you gotta get the sack, you gotta get the sack. And it kind of grossed me out and I couldn't really watch it anymore. But I totally get it, because I just love a good white head that's just ready to be squeezed, you know? I get that from my mom. My mom was always popping my brother's pimples, like the ones on their back and the ones on their face, and she'd be like, give me that. And we'd be like, no, your nails, they hurt. Mom, I understand. If you don't die the hero, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Look at me. I'm fucking in it today. In it to win it. I'm just really happy. Like, I just feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my chest and my shoulders and my back, and I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can like sing the sound of music. I love America and I love the people here. I know that we can get through anything. If we can get through the last, we got through the last 4 years. So I think that we can definitely make it through anything. I think a lot of people have kind of closed off their ears and they don't want to listen to people. But if you are willing to listen, I think there's a lot of benefit in that. And it goes the same for me. Like, sometimes I just want to shut people out and I don't want to listen, but I learn a lot from people who have opposing views or opposing opinions, and I think it teaches me more about me and my beliefs and how we're all meant to coexist and just really, you know, we're meant to thrive. We're not just meant to live day to day and get by. We're meant to thrive. And I think that's really important, especially right now, for a lot of people to hear. Like, you are meant to thrive. You're not meant to curl up in a corner. You're not meant to, you know, get thrown away like the trash. You're meant to keep going and persevere, and you know, we got this. We can do it. It might seem tough at first. It might seem like it's impossible. It might look like that mountain is just so tall you're never gonna get to the top, but one foot in front of the other. Just keep going. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim.
And then once you get to the top of the mountain, don't stand there for too long, you know? You can't be at the top of the mountain for your entire life. I think that's really important for people to know as well. There's this kids movie that my family watches every year, and it's a movie that my grandma gave us a long time ago. And we never really watched it until I think one year we were unpacking our Christmas box and taking everything out, and you know, oh, look at this, do you remember that? Oh, I remember this ornament, all that kind of stuff. And this movie, The Troll Prince, my grandma had given to us when we were kids, and we decided to watch it because we had realized that we'd never really watched it before. And it has become since like a cult favorite in my family's house on Christmas. You know, everybody has their Christmas movies that they watch with their siblings and whatever. Like most of the time it's A Christmas Story or The Grinch or The Santa Claus or something like that. Ours is The Troll Prince, and Dylan thinks it's the weirdest, cultiest Catholic movie ever. But it's honestly, it's something that I keep coming back to because the meaning in it is amazing. It's about this little prince. He's a troll, and he lives on top of the mountain with all the trolls, and his heart is frozen. He has a big tail, and he has a big nose, and his brothers are two-headed trolls, and you know, his mom has mice in her hair as rollers, and it's just pretty amazing because like this movie, one of the songs is down from the mountain, the mountain, the mountain, far from the world. I know things unfamiliar, they sneak up and kill ya, but bravely I must go. I could literally sing the entire song, but I'm not going to because I'm sure YouTube will copyright me for some shit. But it's about coming down from your high horse. You know, you think you're taught all these things and you think you know everything until you realize when you're like going on your own adventure and you're kind of going out by yourself, you realize like you're not this person you thought you were. Even if you thought you were a troll, if you thought you were like this cold-hearted, evil troll, you're not. You know, your heart can warm up. That's what the gnomes do. The gnomes come and they teach him how to help people and how to, you know, be a good little gnome. And it's just the sweetest movie. I just love it so much. And Danny Cooksey is the voice of the Troll Prince, I believe. And Danny Cooksey, I think worked with one of my old coworkers, Todd Bridges. I think Danny Cooksey was in Different Strokes. I'm pretty sure. I just think there's a lot that we can learn from each other and from other people's beliefs and other people's perspectives. And, you know, we're not trying to shut anybody out. That's not the goal here. The goal is to bring everybody together, to unite everybody. We all live here. We all live in America. We're all Americans. So let's just remember that first and foremost. What matters is the value of character, the value of who you are in your heart and who you portray and the things you act on. I think a lot of people have just gotten really used to having a knee-jerk reaction to everything, and they just start calling each other names. They don't want to listen once again, and that's when it becomes an issue. You know, we all have to kind of sit back and listen, even if it's not something we want to hear. We have to see that perspective in order to move forward and keep going and prosper. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
So anyways, come down from the mountain, Kels. I don't like to come off as too preachy, but a lot of the times that's the only way I know how to really express myself. And I get really passionate and I stand up and I shake my fists and I start just getting really amped up. And I think that can deter a lot of people. So I'm trying to keep my cool, put my shades on, just be a cool bitch and keep going. Keep fighting the good fight, no matter what fight it is, no matter what battle you're going through. Just keep going. Remember, there's a light. The darkness can get comforting, but if you're in the dark for too long, you start to forget what it is to see the light. So let's not forget. What are some more things? I want to also touch on the fact that my YouTube videos aren't scripted. I always just kind of like speak genuinely from the heart. And sometimes I do write down key talking points, like when I did my thoughts and opinions on Jaclyn Hill's Vulnerable vulnerable video. I did write down some talking points because I felt like I had to do some research. I didn't really know who she was at that point. I didn't know everything that happened with her brand. I didn't know a lot. So it was a lot of information that I had to take in a short amount of time and then kind of put it into my own words and then spit it back. But I think it's important to really be authentic with your audience and honest with your viewers. Otherwise, you lose trust and you lose faith in that person. And it's happened to me plenty of times with other creators that I've followed. I see them and I'm like, oh, I love this person. They're so great. And then throughout the process, throughout watching their videos, I feel like they're becoming a little bit more disingenuous. It's kind of more about the coin and it's not about connecting with your audience and connecting with your viewers, sharing something with them that you feel could be beneficial to them, whether it's products or advice. I think that we all just need to be more aware of when we are doing something and why we're doing something as well. Whitney Hedrick, she is another YouTuber that I've started following, and she kind of touched on this a little bit in one of her more recent videos. She was talking about consumerism and anti-consumerism and, you know, when you buy things and how you need to be aware of when you're purchasing something, why you're purchasing it, how it makes you feel when you purchase it. And really a lot of it to me is I sometimes go into these like manic binges where I'm just like, oh, I need everything. I need to buy everything. Oh, I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. And usually it's because I'm feeling a little bit unsettled within myself. So I've been trying to buy less, but not become anti anything, you know, like I think sharing products that work for me are really beneficial, and possibly sharing products that don't work for me can be really beneficial. So it's just all about the balance, and it's about making sure that you're coming from a good place. You're not coming from a place of hate. You're not coming from a place of like canceling, cancel culture, which is a whole other topic. Maybe I'll get into it a little bit later. But I really shippa. I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. Philosophy. I've had that song stuck in my head all day. I just love me some good like 90s alternative. When I go to work, I always put on the Alanis Morissette Pandora. Well, not always. These past few months I have been, because it's a good eclectic mix of like good 90s, you know, kind of some early 2000s, some Gwen Stefani. There's even some country on there, which is a little bit interesting. I for a long time was so against country music. I know I'm not the only one. Until I met Dylan. Let me tell you a story, girl. Let's sit down and have some tea. So when I was in high school, I loved country music. It was like my thing. It was kind of like my little escape. I loved the storytelling. I loved just kind of like the message that a lot of the songs I would listen to had. And then I was dating a boy at this time, and he hated country music, hated it. And whenever we'd go to McCall. McCall is like, it's forgive me if I'm wrong about the time, but it's maybe a couple hours from Boise, and it's a cute little mountain town with a lake, and it's really fun to go there in the summertime, and it's really quaint. It's super cute, very small, but a lot of people have cabins in and around that area. And we would go to McCall or Donley, where the cabin was, and on our way up there, I had a Taylor Swift. I had her first album, Teardrops on My Guitar, and I loved that album. Like, I would listen to it all the time, and he hated it, like legit hated it. And it was such a bummer, because I'm like, come on, dude, like this is something I like that I'm trying to share with you, and you're hating on it so bad. And it like broke my heart, because I was like, come on, don't you just like me? Don't you like anything you like? You know, and that's what happens when you're a young girl and you put all of your self-worth into a stupid boy.
Stupid boy.
and we ended up breaking up, obviously. But after we broke up, he totally transformed into this completely different person. All of a sudden he was wearing cowboy boots and he was wearing belt buckles and he shaved his head into a mullet and he like had this Confederate flag hanging up in his room, and I'm like, what the happened to you? Who are you? I don't get it. Like, who is this person? Like, he was listening to country music and he just totally appropriated the entire culture that I was trying to like introduce himself to. He hated it, he hated it, he hated it. And then the second we were gone, he turned around and he like became a cheaper version of that. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Who is this person? Why are you doing this? Who are you trying to be? Who are you trying to portray to the world? That you're some tough guy because you broke up with your girlfriend and you stole all of her ideas? Like, I mean, I don't know if I'm going too far there, but it's just the freaking irony. And isn't it ironic?
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. Yeah, I really do think.
Yeah, I really do think. It's just, it's one of those things where you just can't explain it. It's a phenomenon. It's like what happened with Instagram. Like, I'm just really tired. I'm really tired of people being disingenuine, people not being able to say how they feel. And I think it's really important to have a platform, some sort of platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whoever, wherever. I think it's important for you to have a platform for you to get out all of your thoughts and your emotions, your ideas. Maybe they can help somebody. Maybe that person might take it and flip it around and turn it against you. But either way, at least they're feeling something. I had an ex-boyfriend that would always say that to me. Like, I'd get mad at him and I'd be like, I hate you. And he'd be like, well, at least you feel something for me. And I always thought it was just kind of a cop-out and like a ploy, like, okay. No, but I get it now. Like, you gotta feel, you gotta be passionate. You gotta feel, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So, ladies, I just want to kind of reiterate the importance of supporting each other. I have a few friends who have, since I started my YouTube channel, have created their own channels and started doing makeup stuff or hair stuff, and I really want to applaud you guys because this isn't just my thing. Obviously, I was inspired by somebody, and if I can inspire somebody, that like to me is like the biggest compliment. And I just think it's important to give credit where credit's due, and we're not competitors. We're all, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little like friendly competition, sibling rivalry. There's nothing wrong with that, but it can't get nasty, you know? It can't get mean-spirited. You know, it's like a baseball game. Win or lose, you always shake the opposing team's hand, no matter what. And if you don't shake their hand, then it just shows that you are a sore loser and you're a poor sport and you can't be happy for everybody. Be happy for people. Support them. Be like, you go, girl. You're fucking doing it. It's something we can all do. It's just, are you willing to take the plunge? Are you willing to suck it first? Which is pretty amazing because Desi Perkins and Raw Beauty Kristi are the two YouTubers that mainly like inspired me to start, not necessarily to start my YouTube channel, but to start doing makeup on YouTube, because Desi was a painter, or still is a painter. I'm sure she's still creating art in her own time. And Kristi, I just saw her as like a normal girl. Like, she was just a normal person. She was just like me. She's trying to figure out all these products and all these like launches and all these things that the makeup industry is now kind of putting in our faces, and trying to like get to the bottom of like the cool shit and the bullshit, you know? So I really want to thank them. Ugh. What a rant, guys. Like, I'm sorry for all the rants. You know, they say makeup is a form of therapy, and for me, therapy is a form of therapy. But my counselor in high school, the way that we kind of like settled issues between females was she would have us sit down and keep our hands busy. We had to be, you know, doing something with our hands. She had it was like a little maze with mercury in it, so you could like, you know, split the mercury and then attach it. It was really cool, and it was a really good way for us to talk to each other because we kept our hands busy. We weren't just sitting there like tense as you know. You gotta keep the flow, gotta keep going, gotta keep it moving, bitch. including myself. Okay, so I did my little base, I did my eyebrows, I set that with a little bit of transluce. I'm digging this contour gig that I got going on. I set my under eyes, I set my forehead a wee bit, and I set my upper lip and my chin. Just going over with my damp beauty blender to, not beauty blender. I realized that Beauty Blender is a brand and it's not just the name of a tool, which I think is confusing to a lot of people. But this is a sponge. It's not a Beauty Blender brand blender. It's just a sponge that I got on Amazon. It came in a pack of like 20 and it's lasted me, you know, throughout quarantine. So pretty proud of that. And it washes up pretty good. When you wet it, it does like get bigger in size. Sometimes I wet it, sometimes I don't. Just kind of depending on the vibe I'm going for. I don't know. There's different techniques to makeup. One technique might work for me, it might not work for you. I just think that it's important to share these things just in case somebody's like, oh, okay, I get it. That's something I wanted to do and now I know how to do it. So got my base down. I'm gonna do a little bit of blusher and then we'll move on to the eyelids. I'm gonna go in with my IT Cosmetics, the Ombre Radiance blush that my mom got me for my birthday. I'm gonna say that every time, guys. You know, it's a pretty nice, pretty mauve-y ombre gold color, and I like that a lot. So, oh gosh, I forgot this brush is wet. Is it? It's working. It's kind of a lot, but who cares? I'm just going to work, and the bottom half of my face will be covered anyways, so it don't matter. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing. My dad used to always say that. I'm just really excited for these upcoming months. I feel like a whole new pep in my step. I feel like a whole new little lady, guys, and I just can't believe that I've been on YouTube for a year. Granted, when I first started this channel, I had all these high hopes for YouTube and what I was gonna do and all these things that I wanted to say and all these tutorials that I wanted to do. And it's really interesting how those things kind of like go by the wayside when you're faced with the situation that we had this year. But I'm pretty confident. I'm feeling good. I'm using my Raw Beauty Kristi Pure palette and I kind of want to do something a little bit more like fall inspired. I'm going to go in with Moo Point. That's this pretty mauve. Actually, I dusted everything with my whole heart and then I'm going to go over it with Moo Point. Zephyr, you don't claw at the door. Dad will come, I promise. And I have, you guys can't see it, but I have a little tiny hair, little uni hair. That used to be like my biggest pet peeve on earth, was like stray random unibrow hairs. But this was when I was like a freshman in high school and I was super like shallow, and now I realize like hair is gonna grow where it wants to grow. I cannot control it. I will not be ruled by this thing on my head. It can be there or it cannot be there. I don't care. Most people are like, oh my god, I would kill for hair like that, and then it's like, yeah, well, I would kill for you to have my hair. Just kidding. I won't kill anybody. But I feel like grass is always greener. People think it's gonna be better until it takes a whole bottle of shampoo to wash your hair and then a whole bottle of conditioner. So I'm just dusting that all over the lid, kind of like, you know, doing little swirly motions coming off, and just a little line where my eyebrow bone is, and then swirls more towards, what did I call this earlier? The eyebrow hole, this little hole right here to deepen up my socket. And that's so pretty. I love this little, it's a really good match for my blush. It's a very pretty mauve. Okay, I think I'm gonna mix this palette with my EYN Fiery palette because there's a few pretty fall colors in here as well. I'm gonna go in with Embers, which is this one right here. It looks different on camera, as everything does, but it's like kind of a nice deep mauve that I think it's a little bit it's a little bit more coppery than I was expecting, which is Story of My Life with this palette. What about Cupid? Coppery. Yeah, it's just all these are really coppery. How about Glam? Glam is nice, but it's more brown. I'll just stick with Embers, and we're gonna tap on the outer corner. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
And kind of bring her a little bit more towards the center. It's just so amazing how makeup can totally change the way you feel. I haven't been wearing a lot of makeup recently. I did, of course, for Halloween. I'll insert a little picture of Dylan and I on Halloween. I was a mixture between Marilyn Monroe and Rosie the Riveter. I did my makeup like Marilyn Monroe, but then I was kind of dressed like Rosie the Riveter. I had a cute little blue tank top on. I had some blue checkered pedal pushers. I had my Keds. I had a cute little blue headband, not really a headband, bandana on, and I teased my hair, and it was really fun. I did like a full cut crease. Guys, I'm not like a cut crease girl. It does work well on my eyes because I have hooded eyes, and you know, cut crease is meant to make your eye look a bit more round and bigger. So it is something that I benefit from, but it's not something that I'm good at. So I've always kind of been a little bit hesitant to try a cut crease just because I didn't really like trust my own makeup skills, but it worked really well and I was really proud of myself, and I was like, damn girl, you might actually be a little bit of a pro here. So I'm going back in with my Raw Beauty Kristi and I'm using It Just Does, which is like this little orangey, pretty corally pink, and I'm taking it on my underneath my eyes, and then I'm gonna bring it a little bit more just on the outer corner. So when I did it under my eye, I brought it up. Same with on this side. I continued that line up, and what I've noticed with makeup, a lot of the techniques are very similar to drawing, charcoal, paint. There's a lot of very similar techniques that I can kind of bring from both worlds. A lot of it is color theory, a lot of it is shading and accentuating the highlights, accentuating the darks, and just really chiseling out those features. So it's like all about layering, layer, layer, layer. You can always make it darker, but you can't make it lighter. I think that's like the main point or main objective to remember when it comes to makeup and art as well. I'm not saying you can't make it lighter. It's a lot easier to make it darker than it is to make it lighter. So I just took a little bit of B, this little brown right here, and I'm just kind of putting it on the outer corner, kind of over where I put that It Just Does. And excitingly, I finally got my Raw Beauty Kristi lashes. These ones are lovely. I wore them for Halloween and then I haven't worn Can't Be Bothered yet. They are really insane. I normally don't wear lashes like this unless it's for like a costume, which is why I wore Lovely. I was pretty excited. I was like, oh, these are pretty. How cute. Very nice. I'm glad they finally came. It's been a while since I ordered, but I know that is not Kristi's fault, nor is it necessarily Pure's fault. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world and we just gotta kind of be patient. So continuing with B, just to kind of smoke that out and just kind of run it under that lash line very lightly. So pretty. I love a good orangey red look. So to top it off, I'm gonna go in with Golden Ticket, the center of the palette, and I'm just going to tap-a-roo and give a pretty little foily glow. Can you even tell that I'm wearing it? Yeah, you can a little bit. I just love a good sparkle. Good little bit of sparkle. Never hurt anyone. So yeah, I have a lot of hope for this year. I have a lot of hope for the upcoming months, upcoming projects, and then setting with the Pacifica Crystal Dew. Oh, I love the smell of that. I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of how far I've come. I'm proud of where my channel is headed in the sense of like content wise. And I also want to ask you guys to keep me in line. You know, if you feel like Kelsey's getting big-headed, Kelsey's not relatable anymore, Kelsey is all these different things, she's changed, this and that, like let me know, because I want to like continue building this channel and continue working and connecting, and I value everybody's input, but I never want to forget where I was literally a year ago. I never want to forget that feeling. I never want to forget, you know, I had the mountain in front of me and I just didn't know where I was gonna go, and now I'm seeing how far I've come like as a person, and I just want to continue. I want to continue that growth. I know there's going to be times where I slip and fall. I know there's going to be times where I say things that people don't agree with, but I think the main thing is just to forgive people. I started watching Les Miserables the other night and it just reminded me, like the part that like made me tear up the most, I ended up falling falling asleep. But before I fell asleep, the part that made me tear up the most, I've seen this movie before. It was the part where, what's his name? Wolverine, the main character, where he just gets released pretty much in the beginning of the movie. He gets out on parole and he goes to a monastery and they fed him, they took care of him, and then he left early in the morning, and before he left, he stole all of their silver, all of their valuables, and he ended up getting caught. He ended up getting caught by the French police, and they brought him back to the monastery, and they told the priest, hey, we caught this guy, he stole all of your silver. And the priest said, yeah, you left too early because there was one more thing that I wanted to give you. And he gave him the candlesticks. And I thought that was, you know, that nobility, that empathy, like this guy stole from him, but he wasn't going to crucify him for it. He wasn't going to hold it against him because he knew this guy was in a time of pain and need for healing. And I thought it was, you know, really amazing for a priest to not condemn him for that and instead, you know, let him go and let him be free. And kind of it imprinted on Wolverine's character. I can't think of his name right now, and I'm not going to sit here and try and rack my brain for it.
You guessed it. My friend, Hugh Jackman.
I'm going to use my NYX Shout Loud lipsticks. That was the first PR gift I got on my channel. And I'm going to, what kind of liner? I need a liner. I'm going to go back to my trusty dusty Big Proposal. And then on top with Desert Rose. I still love the smell of these. Oh my gosh. Cute. Oh, what am I doing? I need some highlight. Gosh, guys. I think I kind of forgot about it because I washed this brush earlier and it's still not completely dry, but that's okay. Continuing with the Ofra highlighter, this thing has been my go-to, my main bitch for the past like 3 years. I'm finally hitting pan, you can't even tell, but a little bit of the pan is showing in the middle, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure this is like a first edition Ofra highlighter because they don't even have that circular packaging anymore. And this thing has just, it's been the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm just doing my highlight just directly underneath my eyeball right there. I'm going to give her a little squiggle on the nose and a little bit on the upper lip. Cute. Proud of myself. Very proud. Proud mama. I had a dream with Kylie Jenner the other night, and I have dreams with celebrities a lot. It's kind of been something that has been reoccurring for me since probably 2012 now. My first celebrity dream was with Kim Kardashian, which is weird. I'm not even going to talk about that one because that one was really weird. But I had a dream with Kylie Jenner just a couple nights ago, and she was so nice. She was so sweet. She was so funny. We were just hanging out at her house, me and her little like group of Power Ranger friends. I mean, they weren't dressed up as Power Rangers, but you know who I mean if you like understand the reference. And I felt like her little mama. You know what I mean? Like the vibe that I brought to their group was very much like mom vibes. Like they kind of like trusted me, they looked up to me, they valued my input, and I was like, you know, doing a lot of legwork for her, like picking up around the house. I wasn't her assistant or anything, but like I was her friend, but I kept saying like, guys, we can't leave swim trunks, you know, hanging off the balcony. Like I was just very like, let's do this, let's get this done. And I don't know, I'm hoping that maybe that was an omen for something that might happen in the future. But like all my celebrity dreams, they are totally whacked out and weird, and sometimes I'm like, do I really want to meet that person? If that's how they're acting in my dreams, or is that like my own projection of them? So who knows? Kylie Jenner might be really sweet, or maybe she's not. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's really nice, but funny. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to my rants. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this year. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for giving me some hope. Thank you for your continued support and input. And I love you. And I hope you have a great, wonderful day, week, month, year, rest of the year. We got 2 months left. Let's make it a good one. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Love you. Bye. Oh. It's really accentuating the highlights. I'm really bad at intros. This is the hardest part for me. Shush! First, with my whole heart, Zerk, when Dylan's home. All those things just kind of go by the wayside. Hey. All those things just kind of go by the wayside. Make it up. Hey.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So sorry to interrupt.
The dogs were going crazy.
Zebra's just hiding in here with you?
She was
Get hugs.
she was pawing at the door when she.
Wants to bring video. Wanna look pretty out in my video.
Sever. Jeez, what a crazy bitch. You're a crazy bitch.
She just pinned him.
I know. Okay, hungry hippos. See, that shit happens. You drop your sponge on the floor, and now it's covered in dog hair. Great. Good thing I have a backup. We're all in this together. I don't want to be wrong though, so I may or may not cut that out. I have to do some research. I don't know if my camera stopped recording during that. Excuse me. This dog and his little bitch bark, I swear. You hear that? That's his little bitch bark. It's like, yeah, I'm mocking you, bro.